not easy. What you are facing this
This protest continues, this strike continues, and until victory is won, there is no going back.
It was a gift many would pray never to receive ever again, but surely one the giver and receiver would never forget in a hurry. The New Year package, also known as the removal of fuel subsidy, or better still, the new pump price for petrol, did mark an era in the country's history. I'm Onyi Sunday. Welcome to this special package on the nationwide strike and protests.
It is 65 or nothing.
It's not easy. What you are facing this
This protest continues, this strike continues, and until victory is won, there is no going back.
The federal government's decision to remove subsidy on petrol late last year was, of course, greeted with disapproval from the public. Now, this may have led to the large turnout at the town hall meeting organized only in Lagos to allow government officials intimate the public on the benefits and the public their reservations on the policy.
We feel that the present subsidy we have now does not work for the poor in our society, and that's why we want to shift the resources to help them. So please, I just want to say to you, as Nigerians, that we are going in the direction to work for the poorer members of our society. Subsidies have been paid. The money was not paid back to the banks. Why? My suspicion is that a significant part of those products never got into this country.
Once we have identified the cartels that have profited illegally and criminally from importation of petroleum products, and Sanusi Hassan said it all. He said, we are now consuming 35 million liters per day. I also agree with that.
Now considered a step towards negotiating and consulting with the public, no one expected the shocker that accompanied the Christmas Day bombing. News which you could say shattered the glitter of the new year. On that day, petrol, which sold for 65 naira per litre a day before, now sold at 141 naira per litre.
The amount is 141 naira. There is your liter. Please go front. That's your change.
I don't think it is at this period when Nigerians are mourning, when we are being attacked security-wise from people that the government has no issue on how to combat it, then they now wake up and give us this kind of a New Year present.
No smiles on my face. There's no smiles. Mr. President should just know that every other Nigerian just feels this way. We're angry, man. It's just knowing.
A child matured that day with the news. Public cynicism towards the government grew, as the people who felt they were in some sort of negotiation with the government felt betrayed.
There's a town hall meeting. It's nonsensical. They were not addressing the issue. They were not discussing the issue. They were not telling us why the government has failed. Rather, they were telling us what we need to do as Nigerians to bear with them. We cannot bear with them.
Labour and professional groups went further by hitting the streets with peaceful protests to demand a reversal to 65 naira per litre.
It is our right to resist this oppression. Yes. We are saying no to this removal of oil subsidy. Yes. We are saying it is criminal. There are so many dying ones in our community, unnoticed. Many of them cannot afford hospital bill. They can't fend for themselves. They can't put food on their tables.
If democracy is about the people, Goodluck Jonathan doesn't have the right to increase prices of fuel arbitrarily without consulting the people.
But that was just the beginning of things to come. The protest was only to intimate the government on the planned action of the NLC and TUC to ground economic activities to a halt the following week. The government would not take this sitting, as it immediately went on to seek a court injunction to stop the strike. But Labour refused to back down. According to most Nigerians, not only was the policy or sacrifice to be made by the masses ill-timed, it was unjust, taking into consideration the corruption and excesses of the government, in spite of government's position that the policy was for the good of the country, and the president's announcement to reduce its basic salary by 25%, not even the distribution of 1,600 buses for a mass transit scheme to cushion the effects of the price hike stood a chance.
We are not against NLC, we are not against the unions, we are not against our workers. But we are asking them to appreciate that our nation, our children who are waiting on us, expect that we will make those decisions today that will deliver a better society, especially jobs to them in the future.
And so on January the 9th, 2011, the showdown began, turning most parts of the country to ghost towns, except for activities of the protesters who marched on major streets to demonstrate against the removal of fuel subsidy and its resultant hike in fuel price, which many described as unnecessary and cruel.
October strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress and members of the civil society kicked off in the Federal Capital Territory. I am standing currently at the Wuse Market in the heart of the city. For the protesters, this promises to be a long walk to freedom. This was intended to be a protest, a rally and demonstration all rolled into one. It turned out to be exactly that.
But the message must be sent clearly that Nigerians are saying no to fuel price increase.
capital Lagos and other states in the country to a halt. It began on a fine note here. This Ikorodu road completely deserted, the people expressing their anger.
It's an indefinite one until the government decides to reverse to the old price. Nothing short of that. The voice of the people, they are the voice of God. This man should reverse to the normal 65 naira if he doesn't want a revolution in Nigeria.
In compliance with the nationwide strike by Labour, Lagos Airport is stripped of its bustling passengers. No technical staff on duty, aircrafts have not been deployed for operations, meaning there are no flights at the local airport.
While the NLC took to the streets to voice their displeasure, other civil society and professional groups showed the strike wasn't just a labor affair.
Important issues confronting this country. Yes! And one of them is the threat to the corporate existence of Nigeria. Yes! That is more important than the removal of fuel subsidy.
It is 65 or nothing.
It's not easy. What you are facing
This protest continues, this strike continues, and until victory is won, there is no going back.